All right, what's up, everybody? How are you today? So, once again, we're back here on the channel Lyrics Below, and I'm your boy, your host, Matthew Jamal on IG. Please, if you are liking this content so far, once again, forgive me for the technical difficulties. We are working through it. This is literally like my fourth day really trying to dive into this realm. So forgive me, trying to get there. But if you're really liking the content, please like, comment, subscribe, share, so we can continue to get this message out. The message of listening beneath the speaker and understanding that there is life or power of life and death in your tongue. And so we need to be careful to what we hear, and what we speak, because we can speak things into existence. All right. So we're here. Introduction into J. Cole, because like I told y'all in the other videos, we're about to dive deeper, y'all, into his discography. All right. So this discography is years in the making. Love it. Full of depth. And I feel like so rich with storytelling, intimacy, and life. So before we get into the rest of this discography introduction, we're going to go ahead and just talk about J. Cole. We're going to give him a bio. So I got some notes right here. So if you see me looking down, that's what it is. But so the bio, full name, Jermaine Lamar Cole, based on his text and facts that I have seen online. He was technically born in Germany, grew up in North Carolina, Fayetteville. And then after adolescent, he went to college in New York, where he studied at St. John's University. I'm not sure of what he majored in. However, I do know that he graduated. So St. John's, he was in New York, and that's where he really began his commercial rapping career. However, as we heard or read the other day in the excerpt, began rapping writing at 15. Which is some dedication, some true passion, a true love for the game. At 15, he began rapping, and he had a vision to either become this professional rapper or a professional ball player. So that was pretty much his late adolescent dream, rap or ball, which goes into a consistent theme that he talks about often, which are these devices or these avenues for which they try to pitch to young African-American males, which are rapping, selling dope, playing a sport, going to jail, or going to the military, right? So those are the 5 avenues. And so he's trying to find his way out of this space, out of this cycle, but he still ends up becoming a rapper. So with that being said, multiple projects. His first mixtape came out 2007, The Come Up, all right? So like I said, we're going to dive through all of these. So we're right here. First mixtape, The Come Up. His first studio album right here, 11. Cold World, The Sideline Story. Then, of course, over the time, we see all the other projects, so we'll just run through them. So we'll point them out. The Come Up mixtape, Warm Up mixtape, 2009. Friday Night Lights mixtape, 2010. Sideline Story album, 11. 13 album, Born Center. 14 album, Forest Hills Drive. 16 album, For Your Eyes. 2018 KOD. These are all extra pieces, but these are all albums that he did with his label Dreamville. Off Season, Cole album. 2021 Might Delete Later. Most people have heard this one recently, 2024. And now we are here anticipating the fall off in 2026. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. But like I said, that's why we are here, really trying to familiarize everyone with J. Cole prior to 26, so that you can have a good base before you judge his music. Because I feel like he gets a bad rap, and a lot of people think he's boring or too introspective, and that he really doesn't have any true relevance into the game. However, I think you just may not be familiar with his game. So let me introduce you all to his game. And first, let me take you through how I became introduced into the world of J. Cole. So I was first introduced when I heard Workout. I can't remember if this was like early high school or late middle school, but I heard it. I was like, all right, this is kind of catchy. Bang, bang, bang. Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love? We like it, all right? But then after I heard workout. I didn't really fall in love with the song, but I did like the melody. However, my first experience where I became immersed in a project was 2014 Forest Hills Drive. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who have also experienced that album for the first time. Wonderful. I remember hearing intro, right? Do you wanna be happy? Do you wanna be free? Free from pain, free from scars, free to sing, free from pause. Forgot the rest of it. But man, 2014 Forest Hills Drive intro. I remember hearing that song. I was driving to school one day. I was early. I was going to be on time. I was listening to it and just falling in love. Like, I'm loving the jazz sound. I'm loving the beats. I'm loving the intimacy within his music. I'm loving the flow. Like, it's just, I'm here. Ended up getting to school. I think we were supposed to start at like 8:15 or something like that, bro. I walked into school at 8:45. I was just sitting in the parking lot listening to the album, right? Just fell in love, and I was just enamored by Jermaine Cole and his storytelling ability. So now, what do I like about him consistently? All right, so the things that stick out, the things that I like, once again, like I said, his intimacy. I feel like when you listen to his music, there's so much transparency, and it's almost as if you've developed a close relationship with him. Like, he's not hiding anything. He's being as real and as honest as he can, while also adding some creativity. That's another thing that I like, because in his storytelling, whether it's the intro, body, conclusion, or it's just the way that he's able to disconnect from his first person perspective and tell from a third person POV, or to tell from another person's perspective the same story in which he experienced as well, man, and just how consistently he holds true to his integrity and his character. The best example I can give of this is the what was that? The whole beef apology. Port Antonio. J. Cole has always been one that said, like, bruh, if I smoke a rapper, it's gonna be legit. It won't be for clout. It won't be for fame. It won't be because it's selling the same, right? It won't be for anything except for real beef. And so once he got into this, he was like, do I really have a problem with Kendrick, Drake? No, I really don't. So why am I about to hop into this when these people that don't even know me but are just thirsty for clicks and drama, they want me to stoop down to their level so that they can get entertained for a brief moment, kick me to the side of the curb, and I'm sitting here in an identity crisis? No, I'm going to remain J. Cole, which is about being a true friend, a person who continues to love and serve God and treats people with respect, while also making sure that I respect myself, my morals, and everything that I have put into place to keep a foundation for myself. I just love the way that he goes about being consistent in that message and that example through music and what we see paparazzi show us. This man is always on a bike looking like certified bum, but we know he has millions because he's just like, hey, I'm not above the people. What'd he say? I think it was Let Nas Down. I'm just a man of the people, not above, but equal, right? That's where we were getting to it. And so he even said that in Let Nas Down, which is off of the album Born Sinner. We will get into it. But man, he is always down to be humble, which is something I feel like is slowly dying in our society. Humility is the key to knowledge, y'all. If you know everything, if you're proud, you can't learn nothing. Just keeping it a buck, because I mean, you go and get some information off of Google. If you think you know more than Google, are you going to learn anything? No. So you got to be humble enough to say, I don't know, so that I can learn. J. Cole has always been that type of guy that's like, man, I don't know everything, so let me learn something. And I feel like he promotes that same message in his music consistently. So as we prepare to dive deeper into these albums, please come with an open mind, open heart, and let's really just dive deeper. I'm going to be getting refreshed with some of this music prior to 2-6. So we're going to try to find some bars. We're going to try to find some consistent themes. We're going to try to find some underlying moral messages. Like, we're just going to be looking for a whole bunch of different things, but at the same time, just enjoying the maturation of Jermaine Cole. All right. Once again, love y'all. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. Once again, if you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next video, which will be the come up. Love y'all. Peace.